The sounds and life of the one and only icon Cher are coming to the Ozarks live on the Hammons Hall stage with the touring cast of the Cher Show. And joining me now is Morgan Scott, who plays Star in the show. Morgan, I'm so excited to learn more about this show. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, okay, so for people that are not familiar with what the Cher Show is, why don't you just kind of give me the basic plot premise, what's happening here in the show?
Yeah, so it's clearly about Cher, the one and only. But even though she is the one and only, it does take three of us to play her. So that's a really cool aspect of it. That's why I'm Star. And then we've got the middle Cher, whose name is Lady, and the youngest Cher, whose name is Babe. And it's so that we can take you through basically her whole life up to the farewell tour, which is like the Believe and all that. Because Cher is still going to this day. So there's going to have to be a part two, I guess, that somebody's going to have to create. But basically, the three Chers, the three of us, are able to not just tell the story in a chronological way, but we're also able to interact with one another. And that's a really cool mechanism of the show. So that older self can talk to the younger self and say, you're going to be okay. And that younger self can say, "Hey, don't you remember how much we love Sunny?" And remind of those positive things that we even started our dreams for. You know, so it's a really cool mechanism with the show.
It's a really interesting concept because it's like you think about this in our own day-to-day lives, right? Like all the time we're like, man, if I could just tell, my younger self even just 5 years ago this, or if I could tell my future self this, it would be just such a relief. And so I think it's interesting to take this real person's life that we all know and love and kind of intertwine it in this way. I really, really enjoy that. So as you mentioned, you kind of play the glam pop star aspect of Cher. So what's it been like for you getting to play that version of her?
I mean, unbelievable. I don't think if I had spoken to my younger self a few years ago that I would have ever known that I was going to get to pay an homage to this icon, this legend, and to get to sing her songs every night, to get to pay tribute to her, to get to wear legitimate Bob Mackie costumes. It's an absolute unreal ride. And I've been doing it now for 2 years, and it's just absolutely incredible. And you're really telling a human story at the end of the day. And I think that's what all three of us try to do, is that this isn't necessarily about just like impersonating an icon. It's not a tribute show in that way. It's more about paying respect to the life that's been lived, that is just incredible, all the ups and downs. And so that's really an amazing opportunity.
That's incredible. Okay, I wasn't even going to ask this, but now I am because I'm thinking about it. Has Cher seen the show? Like, is she familiar? Have you guys met her? Like, what's that aspect of the show like, I guess?
Yeah, so what's really interesting and great is that she was a very big part of the Broadway production. And so she did go, and I'm pretty sure it was opening night. She did attend opening night, but she was involved with the rehearsal process and all of that, and made sure to give her stamp of approval on all the writing and everything and how the stories were being told. But from what I hear, it was not necessarily the easiest thing to watch, and not because she didn't love the story, and she really, really appreciated the performances and the acting. But it was more about the fact that, you're watching your own life and you've already lived it. And so to watch it unfold again is kind of like, it's a crazy experience. So I don't blame her for only seeing it that one time. So she has not seen the tour, but she did see the Broadway production. And we are basically, that production is just with some new direction, but same costumes.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, so how did you go about prepping to kind of take on this role? Because, I mean, this is a big undertaking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's daunting. And the thing is that you want to just pay respect, and it's not about being like a caricature. You want to really be honest in it. And so, I grown up watching Cher. I grew up watching reruns of Sonny and Cher on Nick at Night. But then I was also watching the VH1 channel, seeing Turn Back Time, and We Found Someone music videos. Had no idea those two people were the same person, because she has reinvented herself so much. But I was basically, for the prep of this, watching anything I could get my hands on, listening to all of her songs, of course, but interviews, all of her movies, things like that. That was like the best way to try to kind of just get her in my body. And so while we can listen to songs and hear how she sings something, we don't have like the text. We don't have all those lines with Cher delivering them. So it's only by watching interviews and things like that that I could really decide, oh, I bet she would say it kind of like this, with this kind of cadence and this kind of joke and this kind of wink, And so it's getting those things to just basically get her in my body.
So between your kind of pre-roll research, if you will, and then also getting to play her night after night on tour, is there anything that you have kind of learned either then or over time about her or her career, her life, or what have you that has really stood out to you, or maybe even surprised you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really the and this is what I anchored myself to, because I often talk about how I don't understand what it's like to be in the limelight of like paparazzi following you around, and these huge, Madison Square Garden style audiences. I don't understand that world because I haven't lived it, right? But what I do understand is the self-worth issues she had, are people going to still accept me? The stage fright. I mean, reading about that and hearing about how daunting it was for her to be on stage and to perform, and still, even through her 50s and probably even now in her 70s and late 70s, it still exists. That fear is still there. And that is 100% something I can identify with, and most performers can. And it was really cool to kind of read about that. It makes her human again, not just an icon.
That's what I was going to say. It makes a very it gives a lot of humanistic value to someone that we kind of put on this pedestal, right? So,
Absolutely.
Morgan, my final question, what do you kind of hope people take away from the show? They come and see the Cher Show here in Springfield at Hammons Hall. What do you hope they walk away with?
Definitely a sense of empowerment, because it's not just about, you don't have to love all of Cher's music. I mean, I think out of the 35 hits we do, you'll at least have one that you that you love. But it's not even about that. It's about a story of reinvention and constantly just saying, I'm going to be me. I'm going to continue to be myself, take it or leave it. And I'll still have moments of triumph. I'll have moments of failure, but you can always get right back up and go right back out there. The world keeps turning and you're going to be just fine. And I think that people can always use that message to relate to something in their life. It doesn't have to be a performer. You can be going through anything. And we've had plenty of people at the stage door tell us about their own personal stories of failure or loss and how they've gotten through it. And the show helps them just feel better about it all.
Yeah, no, that's so good. I don't care what stage of life you're at. I think that's something that we could all take a little nugget of. So I think that's really, really
Yes.
good. Well, for ticketing and more information, people can go to hammonshall.com for here in Springfield. Morgan, thank you so much for your time. We're excited to see you on stage here at Hammons Hall for the Cher Show.